Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Baird, known as America's top foundational health coach for over 4 decades, plus 3 years. I've had the privilege and honor, and I'm humbled to say that my client base has lost, my 30,000, lost over 1.5 million pounds of toxic fat lost. And in the COVID era, over 3,000 of my clients have reclaimed, regained, and restarted their life. You see why that's important? Because if you're listening to this broadcast, the next health reclaim, the next pounds lost can be yours. Small town girl from Montana, who knew? And that's the theme of tonight. Who knew that we would be doing Health-a-Pedia? Who knew that we would have this amazing opportunity to bring to the world an anthology beginning Tuesday, this week on the 26th of September, we launch this book. And I wanted to just share with my viewers. Usually I have a guest on Life's a Milkshake Moment. Well, guess what? I'm my own guest tonight. Why? Because I wanted you to come into my world. I wanted you to feel what this has been like with this evolution and the camaraderie of this group dynamic that's really come together for this project. This is vision and mission, and you're seeing it, ladies and gentlemen, to fruition. Who knew? Who knew that this small town girl from Montana, who just had a hope in her heart, a hope of doing something so much bigger? How did I become a health coach? It was truly by circumstance. Of course, Dr. Bernie Siegel says, there are no coincidences. Well, I was a young expectant mother, and I walked into my first LHE League meeting. You see, I knew that the breast milk was the best milk. I was going to go ahead and give my baby the best start in life. Walked into this woman's house in Atlanta, and to the left of me were these refreshments, brownies, nachos, Coca-Cola, not even a vegetable or a fruit in sight. Now, I was 26 years old. I've learned how to quell my filter. In my 20s, I had no filter. And I just blurted out from my soul. I said, what are these food groups? Additives and preservatives? This woman looked at me. She said, basically, what is your problem? We're just having refreshments. I said, we are here to talk about giving our babies the best start in life. And we're doing this to our bodies to create what? Don't we want to create the best for them and the best in our breast milk? I had no idea. You know that commercial? Southwest Airlines want to get away. The woman introduced herself as the vice president, rather, of the LHE League International. She was there as a visit. And she looked at me and responded, but I didn't back down because I knew that what you put inside your body will either fuel or foul. Knew it back then. And she said, well, if you're so adamant about this, why don't you do something about it? And that I did. Who knew that what came out of my soul from my unborn child at that point was that aqua-cord energy between us that would create me to going ahead and getting my first health coaching certification. But there was more. I went on during that time of my pregnancy to write the nutritional protocols for the LHE League International for expectant mothers and breastfeeding mothers that are still in practice today. Who knew? So when you think about a life's milkshake moment, ladies and gentlemen, my wonderful viewership, who knew? Well, somebody knows. And it's the universe. It's the creator of all that gives you this inspiration. I call it heart passion. Who knew that you would be sitting here listening to me today? Who knew that you would be listening to what has now become more than a book, more than a journey? It's become a mission. And so tonight, you're going to be hearing from all of our sponsors. And I want to thank, once again, I want to thank Traverse TV for allowing us to have this platform of a 3-day virtual summit. We did Tuesday and Wednesday, and we're coming back Friday at noon Eastern time. And we will be bringing it for 6.5 hours. You will have heard from all 40 of the Health-a-Pedia sponsors, but more on the backstory after our first commercial break, which is our publisher, MYB Publishing. Let's take a look, take a listen.
Welcome to Confidence Tones, where we use a proprietary audio development formula called audio immersion to provide an experience that's designed to help quickly and effortlessly generate positive change in the subconscious mind when used correctly. This experience is achieved using 4 primary building blocks: brainwave modulation, invocation of positive emotions, immersive imagination stimuli, and developmental suggestion. We know of no other source in the world that provides the synergistic combination. With a good pair of headphones, you'll be able to immerse yourself into audio that's designed specifically to help you feel better, do better, and live better.
I want to thank MYB Publishing again, and the CEO and founder. You will hear from him Friday. He will be our EndNote speaker, Jay Noland, for allowing us this amazing platform to publish what has been my life's work. And of course, Confidence Tones. And I need to put up here that Confidence Tones is a project that I was deeply involved in. And you can go to my website, /confidence-tones, and check it out for more information. What we need right now is health in our mind, body, and spirit, and Confidence Tones will give that. It is absolutely Dr. Jody approved. So let's get back to the story, shall we? A few years passed, and first there was one baby, and then there was 2. And my second, when he got to kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, they wanted to saddle him with a diagnosis and give him a prescription medication of Ritalin. They said, he's ADHD. He's hyperactive. No. He was just his mother with a lot of energy on steroids and testosterone. Oh, well. And I was just so determined. It was that octocord energy again, that blood supply that goes back and forth to the unborn child and the mother's womb. But once that umbilical cord is cut, and I'm coming back to this through this broadcast throughout, because once that energy is and that cord is cut, the energy rather stays there. So maybe it's cut, but the energy is still there. And I had that octocord energy. I was going to find something that was a better solution for my son. There's a saying that says, what you ardently desire and purposefully pursue would inevitably come about. Well, it did. I was never one to watch daytime anything, TV. Oh, maybe once in a while, a little soap opera here and there, but not often. And I turned on the TV that afternoon. I just picked up my son from pre-kindergarten, and we were having a snack. Turned on the TV, and there was the Phil Donahue show. He always had great guests, but today it was something special. It was someone special that changed the trajectory of my world and why we are here today with Health-a-Pedia. Who knew that this would happen? Ever have something, ladies and gentlemen, that just in the blink of an eye, it just changed everything? That was one of those days. See, Phil Donahue had Dr. Hulda Clark, the pioneer and iconic trailblazer, female trailblazer of natural medicine. He was interviewing Dr. Hulda Clark. It was a back to school kind of event. It was September. And she just started speaking, and I was just riveted to every single word. I just held on to it. And as she spoke, it was like we were having coffee at my kitchen table when she said, oh, and about ADHD. Is there really such a thing? See, we're taught to move. These bodies are taught to move. It's not natural for you to say, sit down, pay attention, sit down, pay attention. Especially young boys, they are made to move. And that was her response to a guest in the audience that said, what should I do about ADHD? And she said, it's really not such a thing. You see, what if these young little boys, especially, and girls, just are terrifically gifted and brilliant, and they just need a little time to grow into their giftedness? I sat there spellbound. And then when she said, and I'm now semi-retired, living outside of Atlanta, Georgia, I thought, there is my answer. There was my pot of gold. That's what I was ardently desiring. Now, mind you, this was 1984. There was no internet. There was no GPS. There wasn't MapQuest. There wasn't AOL dial-up, no cell phone. So what did I do? I went up to the suburb of Atlanta where she was purportedly living in Alpharetta. And I knocked around. I looked at people that kind of looked kind of natural, that were wearing Birkenstocks and that kind of thing. Said, do you know where Hulda Clark may live? Well, it took me 2 weeks of being an Indiana Jones, 2 weeks of just going after. I thought, I am going to find her. And I did. And I was with my son. We came up, knocked at her door. Now, you may not want to have done this now in today's society, but 1984, it was quite a different commodium. And I went ahead and I said, Dr. Clark? She said, yes. I said, I'm Jody. I'm known as Health Coach Jody, and this is my son. And she said, what can I do for you? And I said, I'm asking you to take him on as a client. May we come in, a patient? And she said, I'm not taking on any more patients. You see, I'm 70 years old. I'm semi-retired. And just like my human shield of son, he was awfully cute with this platinum hair and this little Dutch boy cut and these big blue eyes. I said, Dr. Clark, would you turn down this? And he smiled, that angelic smile, on cue. She let me into her home, and she let me into her heart. And we'll hear the rest of the story when we come back on this commercial break, again, with our sponsors of our summit, Health-a-Pedia, putting together the foundations of health. And that summit is still going on Friday, noon Eastern time, right here on Traverse TV. Let's take a look, take a listen to our next sponsor. And those are two more of our amazing sponsors. VProducts.store, that's Vibra, the mushroom coffee Dr. Jody approved for real, helped in the formulation. 6 mushroom blend keeps your body alkaline and disease-free and allows the body to do its miracle-making absolutely work. And gravityball.com. Dr. Mark Chavez, who you will hear on Friday, board certified emergency medicine doctor, and frankly, is just an amazing specimen. If you go to gravityball.com, an amazing specimen of health. Now, if it says sold out, it's okay. They're coming out with the 2.0, but this happens to be mine. I do my Gravity Ball at least 3 times a week. Why? Because you're able to get into your groove injury-free. Check out Gravity Ball. So now, back to the story. Dr. Hulda Clark did simple, effective, and just very easy things to do with my son and myself for us to implement, not only for myself, but for him. A couple weeks went by, a month, and it got to be that our time with Dr. Clark was the highlight of our week. And it was at that point that I approached her and said, "You've changed my son's life. He's no more getting these unsatisfactories, and they're just not really believing that this was such an easy turnaround." And I said, "I just know the right people." And I looked at her and I said, "Dr. Clark, will you mentor me? You see, I'm a young health coach. I'm easy to coach. And I am just so ready to learn. I'm hungry." And she said, "But dear, I'm not taking on any more mentees." Who knew when these words came out of my mouth? Because I said, what if I was the one, Dr. Clark? I was 30 years old at the time, to take your message to the world long after you are gone. That next generation of healers. Well, the rest is history. She took me on as her mentee, and the next 2 years of my life were absolutely extraordinary. She took that passion that I had about holistic foundational health and absolutely created a burning, towering, eternal inferno that is still alive today. And what is so beautiful is now I am Dr. Clark's age. Now I am 70 and I'm passing it on to the next generation of healers. And you will hear the lineup in just a moment. You'll hear the lineup with the people that are in a Health-a-Pedia. You can see these are the millennial generation, that those of us that are baby boomers are passing it on to. Well, it was during this time, back to 1984, when I was studying with Dr. Clark, and I wrote a goal card simply on a recipe card. And I said, dated 1984 of March, "I will pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR." For those of you that are maybe unaware, what is the PDR? It's the Western medical version of the physician's desk reference that you find in the bookshelf of every physician that you go, Western medical doctor. The Eastern version of the PDR. I don't know about you, but you forget about gold cards, and they get just packed away someplace else. And I went ahead, and as many of us were wont to do during the pandemic, 2020, 2023, I truly was cleaning out my closets along with doing some other things. But I was cleaning out closets, and lo and behold, because I was looking for something, I was ardently seeking a treatment, something that I had missed for a client of mine who had a son the same age that was my son way back when. And then this is now in 2021, was off the rails during the pandemic because he was confined. So I was looking for, I wonder what Dr. Clark had some of these protocols in here. I found the paperwork, and out fell this gold card. The universe beckoned this miracle back into my life. This is what I believe. Miracles occur each day, but we must beckon them in. Because I was being of service with my client and finding something for his son. I found this gold card, and now it has arrived. This is Health-a-Pedia, the physician's desk reference Eastern medical version, with 40 of the most amazing authors coming together in one place and one time. And after this next commercial break, because you're going to hear from all of our sponsors for the Health-a-Pedia movement and into our live seminar, you will hear about this, that we'll be doing on our live seminar summit retreat down in Boca Raton in February 2024. But let's hear from Shannon Roper, one of our authors, and she truly embodies what Dr. Bernie Siegel says, that his job was to help you live between office visits. Just enjoy the moment with Shannon Roper and Oasis Healing Center.
Shannon Roper, board-certified family nurse practitioner, CEO, and founder of Roper's Health Oasis, located in beautiful Carlsbad, New Mexico. Shannon took her vision of true holistic healthcare to promote wellness instead of illness and show you how you can live between office visits, as Dr. Bernie Siegel says. She has your best interest as a priority and incorporates the 6 pillars of health into each day. Join Shannon along with the other 39 authors as she elevates Health-a-Pedia and creates a real health oasis for you and your life.
Aging seniors face a variety of challenges when it comes to their health and well-being. Now, there's a way to take control of aging. Meet Buddy, your personal health assistant. Buddy is a cutting-edge digital health solution that empowers seniors and their caregivers to be proactive in aging. The platform works on smartwatches worn by the senior and paired to their phone. Buddy automatically detects, predicts, and prevents falls. If a fall is detected, your loved one's watch will vibrate and display fall detected, I'm okay, or help me. At the same time, an alert is sent to the caregiver and a 5-minute countdown begins. If the alert is not addressed within the 5 minutes, Buddy will automatically connect to 911. Many times, a loved one is prescribed a walker or cane when they become a fall risk. Through Bluetooth and gamification, Buddy encourages the use of assistive walking devices by providing points that can be converted to gift cards. Buddy also reminds your loved ones to take their medications on time. One of its most innovative features, Buddy uses all the data it collects to create a personalized baseline and measures deviations to alert of potential health issues. Gain greater connectedness, peace of mind, independence, and security through Buddy, your personal health assistant. To learn more, visit www.buddylife.com.
Buddy Life, absolutely living proactively. Thank you, Shannon Roper, for being one of our authors and also one of our sponsors here for our summit and on beyond to our live summit in Boca Raton, Florida. LiveFreely.today. You will hear from the younger brother, who is Daniel Ju, tomorrow. Their story of how they just created that product, Buddy, being proactive aging, just for their own parents. And you can have it too, thanks to AI. So remember to put that book launch date right down there and make sure that you are part of getting this notification, healthapedia.info. You will be getting that information about the book, what you can get. And like, we have just so much more. And if you want to get an alert when it actually does hit the press, go to healthapedia.com. It's health-a-pedia. Why? Because we know that if you go Health-a-PDF, I wanted you to have the right spelling. So Health-a-Pedia is here. Health-a-Pedia is here that we will be able to take to the next generation of healers. And what is this real mission that we've come together, myself and these 40 authors? Our purpose is to create this initiative around the 6 pillars of health. You've heard me talk about spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. It's a collective of healthcare enthusiasts, and we planned to forge a path for preventative health, creating this health narrative to establish self-healing as a philosophy. As Dr. Bernie Siegel says, is it self-remission? No, it's self-induced healing. When you love on your body, it will respond, and it's going to have an impact, one foundational moment at a time. You see, longevity, just like live freely and buddy, longevity, vitality, and energy are just not words, but they're foundational principles that I have built my whole entire life on and my practice. See, this journey embodies these qualities, not to just and to be some innate and mundane thing, but rather to involve using knowledge and skills. You can find this book. You can take one precipice and one principle from each of the 40 authors, just one, of which they have many action steps, and you will be a better version of yourself in 40 weeks. You see, this is the trajectory of holistic healing. As Kimberly Meredith, medical intuitive, said, we are in this quantum field right now. It's going to be just like that quickly. So see, this 1984 project is here today. How did this come together? The universe heard my cry. As I was assisting Dr. Bernie Siegel, met him from a friend of a friend. Big shout out to Dan Gilman of Traverse TV and his Discover Your Potential program. He gets guests like I do. And he said, would you like to have Dr. Bernie Siegel on your show? And I go, is the Pope Catholic? I remember just devouring his Love, Medicine, and Miracles to the fact that I had to have 3 copies back in the 80s. And so he introduced me to Dr. Siegel. And before he would agree to be a guest on my show, he had interviewed me. Well, fortunately, I made the cut. And fortunately, we cultivated and have cultivated over these next 6 months an amazing just friendship. You see, when he told his story and I asked him, Dr. Bernie, what is your goal for your next chapter of life? And he goes, I'm 90 years old. Is there a next chapter? I said, as long as you're breathing, there's a next chapter. And he said, well, my kids want me to write my memoirs, but since Bobby died, I just can't stare into this black box. There's nobody for me to bounce this off to and with. And I said, well, Dr. Bernie, I'm better than a black box. You could have me. And that's how it began. So we've been doing these recordings. It's just been a magnificent time to get to know him, his heart, his passion. And then he asked me the end of March, is there something I could do for you? And I said, Dr. Bernie, would you help me with releasing Health-a-Pedia? And he said, of course I would. I said, I know you have other things to do. He goes, not really. All my friends that didn't take my advice, well, they're dead. So I'll be ready to help you. And that's how Bernie Siegel, with his blessing and his wisdom, are in each and every page, as each pillar has Bernie bits, something to snack on. So who are these authors? Beginning with Dr. Bernie Siegel in the spiritual pillar, Jay Nolan of MYB Publishing, the medical intuitive, Kimberly Meredith, Dr. Peggy Woods of Right Now Publishing, who did the editing, Bobby Kowalski, Reiki master and tuning fork healer, Dan Gilman, as I previously said, graphic artist, design artist, and Discover Your Potential podcast host, Linda Huff of St. John's Refuge, my BFF forever, and Anna DeVere, storyteller, and also the co-host of Discover Your Potential. Then we go into the physical pillar. Dr. James Marinakis, you'll hear a little bit more about him later on. My teacher, my guru, he's been on Life's Milkshake Moments, who is just will have an instrumental part as we take it to the next level. Myself, of course, Dr. Mark Chavez, as of Gravity Ball, but also board certified in emergency medicine. Shannon Roper, Roper's Oasis nurse practitioner. Suzanne Finder, nervous system health coach. Ivan Jacobs, absolutely amazing young man, lost 100 pounds and has created Major PT, and he's getting his master's degree in exercise science. Trey Urban, Reiki master and international healer. Mental pillar, beginning with Rex Sykes. NLP guru, master everything. And his book, Life on Your Terms, is actually one of my encyclopedias for my way of living. Then we have Dr. Michael Pierce. He is on Dr. Talk on my TV show once a month, brain neurologist, functional medical, and also chiropractic physician. Renee Brown, also from Dr. Talk, CEO and founder of Next Recovery Services and Recovery Housing in Utah, the largest facility of its kind east of California. Jamie Kerr, mind kite mentalist, and truly the inspiration of being that millennial, taking it to the next level from over there in Scotland and Great Britain. Noah Crane, intuitive coach with the 3G effect. Jamie Matheson, respiratory and sleep therapist from Idaho, who's going to talk about hope, her hopeology. Lee Forrester, also my guest on Life's Milkshake Moment, the one skillet cook that she said being the she power in the spice years. And then Kathy Strauss, creationeer, intuitive coach, fine artist, and a professional photographer. Then we go into the emotional pillar. Dr. Gary Sanchez of the Y Institute, who's been my guest here, and my goodness gracious, was the game changer for so many of our people, so many of our authors, that they change because when they know what their why is, they could create their story around what makes them tick. And Carrie Fisher, cranial sacral therapist and massage therapist. Carol Darrigan, and we know her story of how much weight she lost, that toxic fat of nearly 190 pounds, and she's kept it off. Cynthia Hamill-Knipe, iridologist, esthetician, but she's a professional vocalist, and she talks about music being the frequency of the soul. Jerry Tucker, already an award-winning international best-selling author. We call him the Palette Picasso fabricator, but a wordsmith. What he does with these poems, he wrote a poem 900 words long, who just edifies every one of our 40 authors, called Ode to the Bestitarian. And Karen Rudolph winds up the emotional pillar. Intuitive empowerment, just a brain mapping coach, also here in Florida. Then we go into the social pillar, heading off with Serena Brown Travis. The name says it all. And leading off in the social pillar, not only is she a speaker, the CEO of the Les Brown Foundation, but she's an award-winning children's author with Perfect Penny. Dr. Nefertina Serrano, with her marriage ministry, she also has been my guest. Think about how many of these authors have been my guest here on Traverse TV. Dr. Nefertina and her husband, Richard, do a TV show on Thursdays at 8:00, and it's all about marriage ministry. And she talks about how she gets into so much of her family dynamics. And Melanie Summers, also my BFF, and here on Traverse TV, you see in her face and her glowing words. And she's going to talk about her weight loss journey, 100 pounds less. Rob Baird, known as his nickname is Santa, 100 pounds later, and his story of expertise. Debbie Armentrout, the same way, and how health and who knew that our connection would make the difference in her family's health. And Amber House, she talks about how she's gone from survivor to thriver. Don't young mothers need that story? They do, don't they? And then finally, in the financial pillar, we have Dame Doria Cordova. Needless to say, we don't need to say anything more. Money and You, global entrepreneur and head of the Accelerated Business School. Jason Estes, serial entrepreneur, at 38, owns 10 companies, along with his partner in business, Jeremy Hoffman, 28, and he calls himself a serial entrepreneur as well. And then we round out the 40 authors with Sue Kostick, also an integrative healthcare practitioner, and through the Les Brown coaching and Manny Lopez network of influence has just become my great friend and also a health coach in Arizona. So this book, why is this so important? Why is it really going to do something that no other book has done? Well, first of all, I believe in giving back. I am giving back to two great foundations. One, we've seen the horrificness in Maui. And if you go to HawaiiFirst.org and you just are a part of this Maui Strong movement, hashtag Maui Strong, a portion of the proceeds of our book that is coming out on the 26th of September, a portion of this proceeds will be going to these two great foundations. So keep that in mind when you decide, as Martin Pratt of Unidial Media said, well, get this book, because this is going to be one where you're going to give it to a friend who borrows things and it never comes back. So I have one for you and a friend. These proceeds are going to be going to Maui Strong. Take a look, take a listen, and feel the passion and the loss that they've had in Hawaii.
Aging seniors face a variety of challenges when it comes to
would they feel? Would their smiles be content than and cry? Cry for the gods, cry for the people, cry for the land that was taken away, and then yet you'll find a way.
And we're going to find a way by giving back to the people that have lost so much in that horrific Maui fire. But also, I want you to take a look and take a listen to our friend here on Traverse TV. And you see me often on Freestyle Fridays on the Kim Jacobs Show and what she is doing for Gabe's Heart Foundation.
I am so excited about Gabe's Heart Foundation 5K walk. It's our 8th annual walk taking place on September 23rd, Saturday, September 23rd at 8 a.m. You can either walk virtually or in person. Go to gabesheartfoundation.org so you can register. You can donate any amount, and that gets you in to go ahead and register and walk. And if you want a t-shirt, then definitely order it right at gabesheartfoundation.org. I just want to thank Mr. Boatwright and Zach Boatwright and all of my neighbors, my previous neighbors that go to great extremes to keep up this beautiful memorial garden in honor of my son, Gabriel Michael Jacobs. And they don't have to do this, but for them to go to this extreme with this level of beauty is something that I will cherish forever. So listen, everybody, take a moment. Go to gabesheartfoundation.org and let's get ready to have a memorial walk that's going to educate people about sudden cardiac arrest in pediatric youth. We don't want any child to have to lose their life on this earth because of something that could be surgically corrected. So go to gabesheartfoundation.org now. Look forward to seeing you Saturday, September 23rd at 8 a.m.
Doesn't this just warm your heart? Let's keep the Maui people strong. Let's keep Gabe's heart beating. And yes, there's a memorial walk on the 23rd. But if you didn't get this, y'all know that I always say we have these sponsorships, and I bring it every single month. Well, as your monthly contribution to Traverse TV and our Health-a-Pedia channel, which takes money to operate, we will be going ahead and giving all of those proceeds back to Maui Strong and also to Gabe's Beating Heart for the month of September and October. Isn't that enough for you to decide that you're going to get the book and make a difference. So remember, we have amazing lineup tomorrow, Friday, starting at noon with Manny Lopez, going on down to CEO and founder. Jay Noland will be ending out the sequence. Each author will be giving their personal tips. We will have 16 of them tomorrow. But I said, this is more. We have more than what you can even bargain for in this, because we have a book which will make a game changer. But from this vision to fruition, it started in 1984. Let's take a look and tie this all up again about Health-a-Pedia.
While being mentored and studying with the iconic pioneer in natural healer, Dr. Hulda Clark, and experiencing her life-changing practices and protocols, a goal card was written and dated in 1984 stated, "I will write the Eastern medical version of the PDR, Physician's Desk reference. The universe delivered a sign to actualize this goal. Now in 2023, we are experiencing vision and mission into fruition. Health-a-Pedia has arrived, led by the iconic 20th and 21st century icon, Dr. Bernie Siegel, MD, author of Love, Medicine, and Miracles, along with 42 extraordinary healing world changers that will motivate, educate, inspire, and propel you along your own path to wholeness, wellness, and abundance. Every compelling story will uplift you to your own epiphany of health isn't something you do, it's what you become along life's journey."
Health isn't something you do. It's what you become along life's journey. So you've read the book, you get an entry in that's like the appetizer. Want the full entree? Well, Dr. James Marinakis, my guru teacher and the world-renowned homeopathic physician, naturopathic doctor, and acupuncture physician, and creator of the process called Myopractic, will be taking us through this experiential journey that will be unlike any other for the price of just not a lot. That you will get what he usually charges 300% more. The early bird special is $13.95. You can go down to drjody.com/upcoming-events. Scroll down and where it says you want to go ahead and be a part of something in Florida in 2024. Who doesn't? Well, we're going to do that together. And we're going to do this in an experiential retreat unlike any other. Dr. James Marinakis will take us on an epiphany and an experiential journey that will accelerate and elevate your potential to do and be all that you were destined to be. So let's hear from our last sponsor, which is Dr. James Marinakis and PPI, Personal Performance Institute. Let's take a glimpse in what you're going to get in February.
The main reason I believe people's health is declining globally is because they don't do the things every day that they need to maintain themselves. They don't walk enough, they don't get enough nutrients, they accumulate way too much stress, they don't expose themselves to nature. They work under artificial lights that damage the rods and cones of their eye, their brain, disturb functions of their liver. Everybody wants to be free from disease, and they want to enjoy a long and happy life. At the Personal Performance Institute, we teach you how to do exactly that. It starts right in the beginning. The very first things you'll do, which are simple instructions, will improve your health, and they will make you feel better about yourself. Not believe that you feel better about yourself, but actually feel better about yourself. That's what the Personal Performance Institute can do for you.
Who knew that I would meet Dr. James Marinakis, friend of a friend, like it always is. And I was able to not only be one of his students, but now to partner with him on Health-a-Pedia. I will be the MC. He will be the main facilitator, along with many of these other practitioners that I already read their names. 2.5 days of not one of these things where you get all this information and then you want to sit back and just have to have a month's nap, as Jason Esty said. I said, you have to nap for a week. He goes, no, it's more like a month. No, this is going to be energizing, you being able to cast out your net into a wider field to influence not only yourself and your health, but the world as well that's around you. Dr. James Marinakis does it in the most extraordinary, professional, and experiential way, not didactic. You will come away with expertise. So the early bird price is here just for a couple of weeks longer. Then the price is going up by $500. You can get in not only the VIP experience and getting able to feel and be around the authors and pick their brains, so to speak, but then have a reception and a cocktail reception before our dinner on Friday night. All that and the reduced price, you get $900 of benefits for $1,395. There are only 150 seats, and you know that 40 of them are going to be authors. So get your seat today. Your future self will thank you for it. So as I wrap up what I want to say about Health-a-Pedia and what I want to just relay just how grateful I am and how grateful I am that we have. And yes, you can go ahead and get that easy peasy upcoming events. It's right there. And what we can do is, if you want to know where you can get and make sure that you get into the event, not only for tomorrow on Traverse TV, and it's also on my YouTube channel, just go to drjody.com/upcoming-events, and you'll have your access. It's that easy. So what I will say to you now is this. It all becomes a level of frequency. It starts with confidence tones. We either regenerate or we degenerate. Why not be a regenerating human being until the end? As Les Brown says, to live full and die empty. To live full and die empty, you must live fully and have full health. People spend a lot of money at the end of their lives trying to regain their health because they have expended their health trying to get wealth. Let's learn from the experts in Health-a-Pedia. Let's learn how to do this one life, one health at a time. It can be yours. Who knew that, as Bernie Siegel said, that I would run into him? Because there are no coincidences. Who knew that we would come together in this conglomeration? And by the way, there will be another. If you check on healthapedia.net, we will be doing the next book, which will be Women's Health. So there's always another and another, but there will never be this one right here, Health-a-Pedia, putting together the pieces of foundational health. And how do you do that? I believe it starts with gratitude. And I have an acrostic for you of gratitude. It stands to grow in relationship with action towards inspiring together in unity for daily endeavors. How do you feel gratitude? How do you keep your frequency up? Because as we go to that regenerating stage, once you feel confident, like with confidence tones, then you go up to the next rung, which is joy and gratitude. And you move up into peace, love. The rest is passion and ecstasy. And truly, truly, this next rung of the ladder is love. But I'm not talking about the gushy kind of, oh, I'm going to stand by the side of his locker door love. No, this is a different kind of love. And this stands for the following letters: looking for opportunities to value everything. How does it feel to value everything in your life? Think about your own health. When you empower you and yourself first, the world around you is empowered forever. The chapter that I wrote in this book is called The Path to Healing and Wholeness. What will your wholeness feel like when you know that you're fully and terrifically empowered and impassioned to do what you are destined to do? That's with 100% health. Then you can say daily, as my power quote says, miracles occur daily. Just beckon them in. Beckon to be a part of this movement. Beckon to be a part of Health-a-Pedia. Beckon to be a part of not only this book, this journey, but this movement. See you at our book launch. Go ahead and download a copy. Wait for about 30 minutes. Read through a little bit of this. Kindle versions do not count because those are yearly subscriptions. But then go ahead and send me your wonderful, wonderful, just your wonderful feeling and 5-star, I hope, review, but at least your honest review. And that will mean all the world to us because we're looking for 100 reviews our first day. And you can send them to this following email address of me. And it's just my name, drjodybear@gmail.com. It's drjodybear@gmail.com. Send your reviews there and they will be posted on my website. I will be eternally grateful. Buy the book. It will be delivered within 2 days if you have Prime, and then move forward so that you know that you can be part of something bigger. Why not this? Health-a-Pedia. This is the door. Who knew that I would be coming into your television screen today? Who knew that in 1984, with this young mother with 1 certification and a young son that needed holistic help, who knew that it would happen? Who knew that here I, during this launch of Health-a-Pedia, the live event, I will be the same age as Dr. Hulda Clark was when I came into her life. I will be 70. There are no coincidences, as Dr. Bernie Siegel says. These are miracles that happen every day. You beckoned this book into your life. You beckoned this movement. You beckoned to get down to Boca Raton. And guess what? There will be online educational experiences. Once we have launched our live event in February, then there'll be an opportunity to have a Health-a-Pedia's Masters Mastermind on a weekly basis with these healers. Now is the time. Now is the moment. You've been waiting your whole life for this. And remember, 1 spelled backwards. What is it? It's one. Now, N-O-W, 1, W-O-N. That's just the way it works. 1 life, 1 circle at a time. You've heard me say this. There is hope at the beginning of this broadcast. There is hope. What does hope stand for? Go down into yourself to heal. Because no one knows like you do. Go up in opportunity with your true north. Who knew? He knew. And come in positivity to be and live the law of attraction, and then go out in empowerment. Not only heal yourself, then heal others and heal the world. So be with us tomorrow on Traverse TV at noon Eastern Time, 9 Pacific, right here, so that you can feel the love. Be on YouTube. If you cannot get on your OTC channel, it's just my YouTube channel at Dr. Jodee, spelled Jodee. It's very easy. Experience the love, experience the gratitude, but experience the hope that only living full out, full in can give you. But in the meantime, I will say with all the fiber of my being, and this is Dr. J. Until next time, let's just have a healthy day, but it's a Health-a-Pedia way for that day. Ciao for now.